How's it going, Real Dealers? Just a reminder to check out our new clothing brand, Real Dealers Club. Me and Terrell are expanding our message to the world with our assortment of t shirts, masks, accessories, hoodies, and sweaters to put our brand on a global level. Make sure to follow the storefront on Instagram at Real Dealers Club, and also make sure to check us out on Teespring. Link to the storefront will be in the description, so make sure to go support our brand and become a true real dealer. Thank you for tuning into our podcast, and as always, make sure to keep it real. How's it going, Real Dealers?
What's going on?
It's
This
your
is
man
Phil
Philip.
Bird,
It's your man
and this is
Philip
my
Hall.
main man Philip Hall, and together we are the Real Deal Bros. Hope
Yep.
y'all doing all right this evening. Hope y'all are okay out there. Shout out to Oakland. Thoughts and prayers with you guys. Wear
Yeah.
your masks. Stay safe. Wash your hands. You know, I lead by example. So if I can do it, so can y'all. Shout out to Texas. Shout out to Texas. I love you guys too. Shout out to my guys back in Fort Drum. Stay safe, you guys. 29 Palms, you too. Don't you guys worry. This will hopefully blow over in a year or so.
Yeah, we want to give you all the shouts to all our listeners out there. And yeah, welcome back to the Real Deal Bros podcast. This is episode number 12 of our best podcast, the podcast that keeps it real all the time, all day,
Mm-hmm.
every day. Yeah, man, like how's it going right now? Well, actually, I guess I can start a little bit with myself. So, and I've been doing good.
Yeah,
Of
how you
course,
been, man?
not good. Just working. Doing everything I can, make sure I'm staying safe. I'm wearing a mask every time when I go outside. I'm not outside right now in my house, but yeah, of course, down in the A's hat, and like we got the win today, so yeah, I'm pretty proud about that. Like
Mm-hmm.
any day the A's win, it's always a good day for me. So yeah, I can't complain.
Absolutely. Man, you gotta stay safe out here because there are people coughing and sneezing and whatnot. But as long as you know this one, nothing else to worry about other than keeping social distancing.
Yeah, we definitely want to remind our listeners out there that COVID is still alive and well. We just want to remind you whenever you go outside your home or whenever you're going down the block or like pretty much whenever you step foot outside of your house, make sure to wear a mask, make sure you're practicing social distancing, making sure you do everything you can to prevent yourself and to prevent others from getting sick or catching COVID, because it has been studies have shown that even if you don't feel the symptoms, you could still be a carrier and you could pass it on to anybody that you're not being safe around. So please, please, please follow everything, follow the laws, wear your mask, do social distancing, stay at home if you need to, and yeah, just definitely do everything we can so we could stop the spread.
Yep.
Yep,
And
and we
hopefully, the more you put on your mask, the sooner this will probably be over.
yeah, and we also want to remind our listeners out there that we are actually now 99 days away from Election Day, and we just want to remind everybody out there to make sure that they are registered to vote. The
Yep.
2020 election is going to be a big one this year, so yeah, make sure that you're registered to vote in your state. Make sure that you're going to the polls on November 3rd. So yeah, make sure you're doing everything you can to stop or to go out there and vote, show your support, and yeah, definitely be aware of yeah, just definitely do the best you can to get out to the polls and cast your votes, because every vote does count. Don't let anybody tell you that your vote doesn't count, because that's a lie.
Yep. That
Mm-hmm.
is a big lie. So, what are we going to talk about today, my man? I think we were going to talk about why billionaires should not exist. I believe there was a post that you saw.
Oh yeah, so if like I'm not sure how many of you saw the post that was posted the other day, but actually we should begin the episode with a disclaimer. Disclaimer is, if you are easily triggered by financial thoughts or financial insight that you may not agree with, please do not watch the podcast, or please do not listen, because we might say things that you may disagree with and you may find find offensive in a certain way, depending on what your financial state is. But if you aren't that type of person that is easily offended by finances or anything like that, yeah, feel free to continue watching the video. But yeah, we just want to give you guys that disclaimer so you won't come at us and you're like, oh, like Phil, why'd you say that? Or like, oh, like Terrell, why'd you say that? Or anything like that.
Mhm.
Because what we're going to be talking about today is just a holistic view, and we're just re-educating and reevaluating something that me and Terrell thought could be justified. So yeah, definitely, just don't be mad at us if
And
we say
please,
things you may not agree with. So yeah,
and please also note, we have no bias towards anyone who's in a far better state than others.
right,
This is just from a holistic view and based on what we've learned and the principles that come with it.
right, right. So yeah, but yeah, we're gonna get into it because man, the more that I saw this post getting shared and getting passed around, the more fired up I got. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. So I found a post on Instagram the other day. I'm not gonna say or not gonna give away the username or the at of the person that posted this post because I want to keep it anonymous. But when you first look at this post, it says in bold letters that billionaires shouldn't exist. And the subheading reads, human brains have not evolved to understand large numbers. As a result, we tend to vastly underestimate how large 1 billion is. This may help. 1 million seconds equals 11 days. 1 billion seconds equals 32 years. Next slide reads, billionaires hoard wealth. If you earned $550 million in your lifetime, you would consider yourself rich, but you would still be $950 million away from being a billionaire. A billion is such an incomprehensibly large sum of money that it'd be difficult to actually spend. That's what we mean by hoarding wealth. There is absolutely no reason why anyone should hoard more wealth than they could spend in their lifetime, while others are homeless, starving, and dying of curable disease. Third slide reads, the wealth gap is increasing. The world's top 26 billionaires own as much wealth as the poorest 3.8 billion people. That's referencing from Time magazine back in 2019. Billionaires got $565 billion richer during the pandemic, making $42 billion a week on average. That's reference from Business Insider, June this year. In 2019, the number of billionaires grew by 8.5% to 2,825 people, an all-time high. The combined wealth of the world's billionaires reached $9.4 trillion. That's referencing WealthX, the billionaire census 2020. And the rest of it gives a list of well-known billionaires: Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Larry Ellison, Mark Zuckerberg, a lot of people you may know and may heard of. And it also says billionaires don't earn their wealth. And I'm not going to read the whole slide because I want to save time for us to do this episode, but I will post just snippets of the post on the if you're watching this by video, you'll definitely see it. And yeah, but you could find the post. I mean, it's getting tossed around a lot, but you'll definitely see it. So really what I want to get into is that I feel like after seeing that post and seeing it being tossed around a lot, I feel like people aren't fully understanding why billionaires shouldn't exist or should exist, because in all of reality, and I'm just gonna jump to the chase. So, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything here, but in reality, I feel like it's society's mistake that billionaires become billionaires.
Hmm, yeah. But when you think about it, when you hear the term billionaires, it makes you think of what it took to become the very billionaire that that person might be today. You see, for me, I think of it as the difference between the haves and the have-nots.
Mhm.
The haves were willing to put in the work, the time, and the effort. And for all I know, it could have took his or her entire life to basically build that profound wealth. So when you actually want to think about it, you want to think about it from a holistic view. You're in society, and this is not based on a race thing. This is not based on a class thing. It's a people thing. Some people are more than willing to put in the work more so than others. And that's what separates the haves from the have-nots. That's why I keep referencing it. And the have-nots expect things to be easy. Everything is to come to them on a platter, not a silver platter. but a platter of any kind, of any material. Not everything is based on everything being easy. If everything was easy in life, then nothing would be worthwhile. And I feel like that's where society has failed to teach our generation.
I
We couldn't
definitely
even,
I definitely agree with that because
yeah, we
there's
could, along with that, we couldn't even comprehend the lessons that come with trying to get that kind of financial stability because no one ever really taught us the meaning of responsibility because we all had to learn by ourselves through different points of view. So that's kind of why I keep saying, it's based on the haves and the have nots. I mean, honestly, do you think that, let's see, who can I reference in this time period? Um, Bill Musk, what's his name? Is that his name?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk? Okay. Elon Musk. I think he's the CEO and founder of Amazon. Am I correct?
No, it's Jeff Bezos. Like Elon Musk found
Oh,
Tesla. Yeah.
my bad. Okay, so Elon Musk runs Tesla, right?
Yeah.
His invention. He put all his time and effort into 4 failed projects, right?
hmm
But he never really failed. He only failed because he let himself believe that he failed. But yet he still kept trying again. He tried and tried again until he was successful in his final prototype. Prototype number 5. Now, there could have been more prototypes than hell I can even comprehend myself. But the thing about that is, I'm using him as an example because when life knocks you down, you get back up. When you're struggling, you try to push through, no matter how tough the challenge is. And that's what it means to become a billionaire. That's what it means to become a millionaire. Hell, that's what it just means to be financially stable. It's all
Yeah.
about here and here.
That is
And
definitely true, and I feel like like when you say that, and I'm glad you brought up Elon Musk because I did like when I was doing the research for your notes for this episode, I was like watching I watched like 5 documentaries on the billionaires. I watched the Jeff Bezos documentary, I watched the Elon Musk documentary, Mark Zuckerberg documentary. Who else did I study? I studied Reed Hastings. He's the founder of Netflix, and
Mhm.
I just and like when I hear it, and I also looked at Steve Jobs as well. And like when I hear their stories, and when I figure out, you know, what did they bring to the table that they knew that they were going to sell. I mean, like I'll reference Jeff Bezos to start off. Like
Yes,
Jeff
please.
Bezos, yeah, Jeff Bezos, like he founded Amazon. Everybody probably knows that already. Like he's like
Yes.
one of the richest,
Amazon, the greatest online store on the planet. Next to
right?
Alibaba.
Yeah, but yeah, Jeff Bezos, like he founded Amazon. Like, and really, I feel like people forget the story of how Amazon actually started. So back in
Mhm.
around like the early to mid '90s, Jeff Bezos, he he received a $300,000 investment from people and like for an effort to start Amazon. And his goal was to actually start like he started Amazon as an online bookstore. And
Mhm.
before he you know brought his plan into fruition, he warned people there's a 70% chance that we could go bankrupt in I think he said the first 5 to 6 months of doing this. And like, and of course, he went to book publishers, and he said, hey, I'm starting this online bookstore where we could sell like your published books on a like for cheap through the online store. And now in the mid 90s, not that many people were getting acquainted to the internet yet. Like the internet was still growing and still kind of trying to be understood and
And it was
acquainted with.
fairly young too.
Yeah, it was really young. I mean, there's people right now that they know how the internet works right now, but they don't really know. Like there was people in the 90s that were, they didn't really find the internet as very resourceful. Like Jeff Bezos beat a lot of businesses to the punch by starting Amazon as an online bookstore. That's how he grew to become a like the online mall. I mean, you look at a lot of businesses and a lot of products, they're getting sold on Amazon, they're getting moved around. And, anybody that shops from Amazon, you know how fast they deliver a box to the door. And people, it kind of refers back to the old saying, "Don't hate the player, hate the game." Well, Jeff
Mm-hmm.
Bezos learned the internet game before a lot of other companies did. That's how he became the way. And like even like I go back to what I see how billionaires are getting rich even during a pandemic. Well, think about it this way: how many Amazon stores or like Amazon, supermarkets do you see out? Like maybe you see like their little small, small stores like the Amazon, snack shop or Amazon, bookstore or something like that. But they're not they don't follow the same rules as like a Target or a Walmart would or a Best Buy would. That's why people shouldn't be mad at Jeff Bezos because of his online store, even during a pandemic. Because like Target and Walmart, they're closed, or you have to follow certain guidelines to even shop in there. When you're shopping on Amazon, you can shop there from the comfort of your home. So and just knowing that certain times are the way they are, you do have to respect, just the advantage of being able to shop online, or at least having some form of shopping.
Mm-hmm. And not
Yeah.
only that, he gave them a variety. People love to have choices, not ultimatums, but choices. They love to pick and choose what they want. And Jeff Bezos already knew that way ahead of time. He also knew that some people can be lazy. So he made it easier for them just to get what they want from just one click of the mouse.
Right. I mean, that's why you see like all the Amazon vans riding around. That's why you see the trucks on it. That's why, you see the drones, like, or
Mm-hmm.
like because people feel good when the box with the smiley face or with just a smile comes to the door, because like it's efficient. Like it's a great, like, I mean, it's a great product that people use. And like also, like, I heard you say choice. Like, yeah, people
Mm-hmm.
have the choice. Like, I mean, that's the key word of all this. Like, people choose to buy from billionaires. Like, just
Mm-hmm.
let's think about, like, consumerism is a billionaire's fuel.
Yep.
When people make a choice to buy something, they're putting more money in the pocket of billionaires or millionaires, like,
Absolutely.
and like any business owner that you would find. And
Absolutely. And another thing about that is he kept it simple. He didn't overcomplicate it. He just kept it simple. Now, nothing about building his company from the ground up was simple at all. There were many challenges, there were many setbacks. But yet again, he prevailed in the task and the goal that he was pursuing. And that's where people also need to get a good handle on. You need to set goals, daily goals, lifetime goals. When you have a dream, you have to not only hold on to it, but you have to grasp it tight enough for you to achieve it in order to make that dream reality. That I learned when I was first trying to get into school during a gap year. Let me tell you, gap year was not for me. Anybody who's taking a gap year and who actually wants to do something with his or her time, kudos to you. That means that you have some form of common sense. And if you don't want to be in school, like, right after you graduate, then just take the time to know exactly what you want to do. Plot, plan, have contingency plans in the long run. Because I feel that where society has made their mistakes is they don't have contingency plans ready in the making. For me, everything is based on plan A, plan B, and plan C. If plan A does not work out, I go to plan B. Plan B sometimes work out 50% of the time. And then if that doesn't work, then I know for a absolute fact that plan C will prevail. And here's why I say that. Because I'm going to use me as an example. I applied to go to NYU. Here's the schools that I applied for, right?
mm,
4-month university, that's in the UK. I wanted to go to school abroad. Then I wanted to go to St. John's. That was my second choice. Then I wanted to go to NYU. Top 3 schools. So I didn't get into the first 2. So my plan C was St. John's University. The point I'm trying to make is when something doesn't go your way, it's your job to make sure that you have a contingency plan so that way it can go your way, how you want it, on your own time and on your terms. Therefore, you will be separated from what? The have nots. I've known men who joined the military and who became actually quite brilliant. One just made tenured about 2 months ago, and he's 26. He's 6 years older than I am. He just made tenured at Harvard University, and he's only 26. And he looks just like
Wow.
you and me.
Wow.
And guess what branch he served? Guess what branch?
Um,
Any branch.
oh, like Navy.
Eh, well, yeah. Yes, he did. And
Hmm.
guess what? He was also part of the Marine Corps ROTC.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. So technically, I use him as an example because he showed me what it means to achieve. When you achieve in something, you can always improve. And that's where billionaires found the real secret, which is not real secret at all. Just because something works, that doesn't mean you can't improve on it. You know what
Right.
I mean? You can
Right.
always improve on one idea and then take it beyond the next level.
Hmm.
In life, there are no limits. None.
Oh,
Absolutely none.
exactly.
All no limits.
Yeah,
And, I feel sorry for billionaires because some of them are very good people and they're demonized just because they chose to do something that was completely taboo from the rest.
I mean that's the point, man. Like I mean, like, that's why people are getting mad at them because, like I like one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite movies is a baseball movie is called A League of Their Own. It has Tom Hanks in it, and in
Ah,
one
that's a good movie.
yeah one scene, one of Tom Hanks's players is deciding to leave to go back home with her husband before the championship series that they're to play. Like they're going to play in the Women's Baseball League World Series. And as the player is leaving with her husband to go back home, Tom Hanks stops to have a talk with her, and then she says like, "Well, I'm leaving because it just got too hard." And Tom Hanks quotes this in the movie, or the character that he played quotes this. He says, "It's supposed to be hard. If it was easy, everyone would do it. It's the hard that makes it great."
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I say that and I reference that quote because not everybody, thinks like everybody thinks that making $1 billion seems easy, but in reality, it's not. I mean,
Not so.
and like because if it was easy to make $1 billion, everybody in the world would be a billionaire right now. That's
Yep.
why and billionaires they don't hide secrets either of how they success. I mean, like look
Mm-mm.
at like billionaires they write books on how they start their business. They write books on how like how they manage money. Like they don't hide anything. And
Nope.
it's like the old quote, like you could lead a horse to water, but you can't
You
make the
can't
horse
make it
drink.
drink.
I mean, everybody wants to be a horse, but they don't want to drink the water.
Nope.
So if you're not learning, then like that's where you get stuck. That's why people shouldn't envy billionaires for that reason because they provide so many secrets. Like and like it's not even like you don't even have to hear it from the horse's mouth either. You could watch
Mm-hmm.
you could read Wall Street Journal. Like, you could read Time Magazine. Like you read any news platform that talks about how to make money, or that follows up with the stock market, or with any financial. Like I mean, oh man, there's so
There's so
much
many.
exposed information, and that's why I feel
You
like
can even read it from the Daily Tribune, for God's sake.
yeah, and that's why I feel like there's not enough, like for our generation, there isn't enough emphasis on learning. It's
Nope.
just about self gratification, like it's just, like there's so much that I feel like our generation is doing wrong. Like, yes, like we are, being aware of certain things, and we are trying to find ways to either advance things or alter things for the better, but we're just not willing to learn, or if we even do try to learn, we just don't have the patience for it.
Mm-hmm.
I
And you
like
know, I feel like,
and billionaires, they have patience. They probably have more
yep,
patience than most people do.
absolutely.
Because like
And I
they
think
like
that that's where also society kind of falls short on, especially American society, because not all billionaires actually come from America. Some come
mhm.
from all around the world. And the thing about most people who come from many different countries is they also have, from their culture, patience is the key. Patience is key to success. It may not come when you want it, but it will come at a time in which you will not expect it. I should know.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been,
our generation, yeah, we're lacking patience in certain areas, and one of those areas being, how to make money or how to like just like on lawmaking. Like we're like like even like with the Black Lives Matter movement, like people, they say like, oh, we need this to be changed, or oh, the statue needs to come down, and like they want now, or like it takes patience for something to be like to be ratified.
yep.
And and like I feel like it's just, yeah, man, like it's not a good look
And
right it's not a good look right now. Like we're all of us are like in a rush to try to be successful. But again, you look at these billionaires that we bring up, like Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, like
mhm.
they didn't get rich overnight. I mean, they again, like it took
But
Jeff
we failed to
Bezos.
mention one billionaire, just one, Madam C.J. Walker.
Mm-hmm.
It
That's
took her years to get where she was. Years. The
mm-hmm.
first African American female billionaire. Now, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If we, if our generation learned the lessons that actually took the time to learn the lessons that all these beautiful billionaires have taken the time to learn, would we be where we are today? Would we?
We wouldn't. We
And that's
wouldn't.
my
Like
point. Because where we lack and where we have failed was the ability to have patience.
mhm. And also, like there's certain things that people like value in their lives. Like I think another thing, not only does our generation like need to improve on patience, we also need to improve on what we value. I mean, there's people in there, like there's people out here that don't even have value for their own lives, some people. And
Yep.
but because what they have value towards is materialistic things. But what they don't realize, and this is why how I got upset by the post. What they don't
Mhm.
realize is that, like I said before, consumerism is a billionaire's field. and
Yep.
and people saying like, oh well, billionaires, they don't donate enough money, because I was also reading the post. Well, I've done some reading and I've done some research, and billionaires,
First
like
of all,
they do, like they donate a substantial amount of money that some people don't. I mean, because
so
I
let's
feel
talk
like the
about
way,
that.
because like I
Let,
feel
let,
like in a way the billionaires, they donate in a way where like, oh, like I don't mind giving this x amount of money, because I know I'm gonna make that back up next week. Like
mhm,
like well, people that live, like say I'll just say average, like I'll just use the word
mhm,
average. They
mhm.
they have a, like average financial income. They donate in a way where, well, how am I gonna make this back up in a certain amount of time? Because
Mhm.
they don't know, they're not understanding financial literacy. Like I just got finished reading Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Mhm.
And what he says in the book, because he didn't come from a rich background or wealthy background. I mean, his
He came
like
from a very humble beginning.
yeah, his background is that he refers as his poor dad as his biological dad, who was an educator. Like he made good enough money. Like he paid his bills on time. He paid his taxes and all that. But what his poor dad didn't understand is that he didn't understand about assets or about investing or about like real estate or anything like that. So that's why he refers his rich dad, who was his childhood's best friend's dad, who was like he had his own business. He knew the investment game. That's why,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he paid the more attention to what his rich dad was saying. Like he calls his best friend's dad his rich dad because because rich dad was more financially sound than his poor dad. And
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, and again, like Kiyosaki, he described himself as the type of person that he was willing to learn rather than expect it to happen, expect, you know, instant gratification. And you know, and just with that, you know, like, and because I read that, like I couldn't put that book down because he was making it
Mm-hmm.
sound so good that, oh man, like if everybody was reading this book right now, like people wouldn't have to worry so much about money. But since we're in like a money driven, you know, society, but there's so few people that don't want to learn the game, and you know that's where we're falling off, and that's why people are getting mad at these billionaires, because they're saying like, oh well, they don't donate enough, or they don't donate that. Well, like I'll say what my mom told me the other day, like donating something is better than donating nothing.
Well, let me play devil's advocate for just one moment. Just a moment, just very quickly. If we want to donate, how about we donate the time to actually teach our children financial literacy? How about we
Mm-hmm.
donate the time to actually teach our children how to manage their finances? How about we actually donate the time to teach our children patience?
Mm-hmm.
How about we actually donate the time to have our children learn what it means to be a sole proprietor? You know, how
Mm-hmm.
about we actually take the time to teach our children how to, maybe buy stocks and take trades, sell trades, buy trades, you know, let currency pairs do their thing. Forex trade, for example. How about we
Mm-hmm.
actually take the time to actually teach our children what it means to have your very own business and
Mm-hmm.
to learn from its consumers, learn from the customers, learn from their likes and dislikes, their wants and needs. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, man, and I think I kind of got sidetracked by what I was going to say about values. So you know, like you look at these products that are being seen nowadays, you know, like the iPhone, like
Hmm.
the Tesla Model S, or you know,
Jordan.
the yeah Jordans. Like you look at certain things that people are willing to spend a ton of money on and have so much value towards, and then these same people are the ones that are getting mad at the billionaires. But what they don't realize is that the billionaires like are selling you a product that people think will buy, because like that's the market. I mean, like think about this. Like
Hmm.
if people didn't believe that online shopping was the new way to, you know, go out and buy stuff, Jeff Bezos and Amazon wouldn't exist. Or if
Yep.
people believed that, you know, an electric car that could get you on one charge from, I'll say, Oakland to LA and one charge, then Tesla and Elon Musk wouldn't exist. Or I even give you a better one. Before he died, Steve Jobs reached billionaire status with Apple, and he created a cell phone that gave you the power to do almost anything and almost have access to anything in the world, like from picture taking, from looking at the stock market, from going on the internet, or you know, like taking selfies and, you know, sending snaps and all that other stuff.
All of
Like
that.
Steve Jobs, the iPhone and the Apple company would not exist. So for people to say that billionaires don't exist, well, they should exist, because like you make the choice to buy a product that you feel like will have some value to your life, or you feel like that it'll have some, you know, value of resource in your life from that billionaire.
Yep.
That's the way of the game. So, but I will say this though. Instead of saying that billionaires shouldn't exist, I would say that in some way we should, you know, not buy a billionaire's product, because like saying that a billionaire shouldn't exist is like me trying to tell God that people should stop having sex to prevent babies because we have overpopulated like overpopulation you know, problem, which
Yep.
is like a far gone myth, and I won't even get to that. But it's not so much about, you know, telling billionaires to exist. Like, to make a person go broke, you just stop buying their product. Like, don't boycott the creator, boycott the product.
Yep.
So, and
And
I feel like, you know, if the person that posted that, she could have rephrased it better, instead of just, you know, putting out a broad statement about billionaires and all the other stuff and all the dark stuff that some billionaires do, because not every billionaire is a bad person.
no.
You know, it's just, I feel like people are getting bored with saying certain things, so they feel like one way of venting is to, you know, have a broad statement. And
Careful of that.
even though the person does give certain facts and, you know, all that, it is, you still have to kind of, like, again, like we're talking about this to give people a holistic view of our thoughts about the post and our thoughts about how the money game works. And like I mentioned before, like, billionaires don't hide anything.
Nope.
They're very open to speaking how to make money, you know, how their business run. Like, even billionaires they even give tips on how they even run a business.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not learning, and that's where our generation is lacking the most. Like, we're not emphasizing the ability to learn something, because
Mm-hmm.
we expect everything to be instant.
Yep. And not everything is instant. Things take time. Like, let's take you and I, for instance. We built our own podcast and made our own online storefront. Not many people are buying our products. That's okay,
Hmm.
because we're still learning and processing what it means to have our own Black-owned business. We're still
Exactly.
learning how to advertise, get it out to a broader consumer. We're still basically learning how to actually create a variety of what people actually want to see, how to maintain that positive message that has a very deep meaning without losing its essence of keeping it real.
Hmm.
When I say that, I'm saying this because it's not only a good thing, but this is a positive thing. It's a learning moment. You have to learn from not only your past lessons, but learn the lessons that are in the now, that are in the moment. For me, you have to take everything for what it is. We're not making profits yet. That's okay. We'll make them in the long run. Like I said, things take time. We didn't just make this overnight. We just basically decided to have a plan and have a course of action of how this will be made.
Yeah, I
I
mean, like,
feel like
we spent like a whole week, or like a couple of weeks, trying to come up with designs and put it on a T-shirt. I mean, like, we're like, and that's of like that's of any, you know, like that's of any, you know, person that's a business owner. Like, they understand that, you know, I need to create a product. I need to find some way to promote that product, and hopefully in the long run, keyword long run,
yep,
that product could become the next big thing. That's how billionaires treat the game.
yep.
And like, and like, it just dates back to people not having a strong belief in longevity. I mean, you know, it's I look back at I look back at, like, you know, billionaires, like well-known billionaires from the past, you know, like John D. Rockefeller or Andrew Carnegie, or, you know, yeah, like I look, or Henry Ford, and I look at them and I see, well, Henry Ford, he needed to come up with an idea of how to create a car, how to build a car, and find a way that he would build cars in a very efficient fashion. John D. Rockefeller had to find some way or expand the market for how to sell oil. Like what things, you know, do you know that power oil? Like cars, trains, certain utilities, like
Sometimes
that.
windmills.
Yeah, when it was like, I mean, like that, like all that takes time. Like, even with Andrew Carnegie, founder of steel, like the steel industry, like there was an untapped market in his era, and steel is being used to build buildings, like build the railroads,
Uh-huh.
like billionaires. They, again, it's all about what people are willing to value and what people are willing to use.
Yep. Absolutely.
And you can't get a value mixed up with your own beliefs. Like if you know that you're gonna buy an iPhone, well, don't be mad at the person that created the iPhone because you made the choice that to buy it. Or if you're a strong believer in electric cars, or driving a car that's going to be good for the environment and that's going to lower high gas emissions, then like, don't be mad at the person that created a car that allows for environment to like still like be stable. Like, just like, you can't, again, like, you can't be mad at the creator. You could be mad at the product. Again, like I said, boycott the creator. Don't boycott the creator. Boycott the product.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And
Yeah, and
I think we just need to actually take time to learn from everything we just discussed. Everything from actually taking the time to cultivate oneself and cultivating your own business, your own frontline store. Even if it's a small business that could possibly have a chain someday, you always have to take the time and the effort to learn what it is that you can improve on.
mhm.
And I think we just covered everything on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to mention who I saw that was sharing the post, but
No, please don't. We
I'm not
value
like that. Yeah,
confidentiality.
yeah. I'm gonna keep that information anonymous. But I will say that people I did see sharing that post, I know that they're business owners. And when I saw that there's business owners like sharing this post around, it surprised me. I'm like, wait a minute, like, don't you own a business? Like, what if like a big name company wanted to buy your product and give you $1 billion for it? I mean, what would your reaction be to that? I mean, like, you're probably not going to complain if a certain company comes to you and buys your product for X amount of money. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, you won't complain about that. So why complain about how billionaires are winning the financial game right now? I mean, it's like, it's very odd to me how people are taking this, to certain extents, I should say.
Yeah. Instead of being fixated on one person is doing, people should be fixated on themselves.
Yeah, yeah. We just
Learn what
they
they're
just
supposed to do.
they just need to stop. What we just need to stop pointing the finger at certain people, because the fingers are aiming toward the people that pretty much give us the resources to operate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go into an office space, you see a bunch of Mac computers, you see a bunch of Microsoft computers. Well, like, we wouldn't have those things if it weren't for Steve Jobs or for Bill Gates. So, I
Absolutely.
mean, yeah. Again, like, let's not be mad at the creators. Like, you could be mad at the products, but don't be mad at the creator.
Yes.
And another thing that I also want to cover, and I feel like people kind of get this topic confused when it's spoken on. I want to talk about net worth and the meaning behind net worth. So when you look at a billionaire's net worth, you'll say a certain amount of number. I'm not going to name numbers off the top of my head, but what people need to understand, the meaning behind net worth. Net worth isn't so much the money that those people have lying around. Like, that's not money that's in their bank accounts or anything like that. Net worth, or in other words, net worth does not determine the earnings that billionaires have lying around. What net worth determines is what you own minus what you owe. Or in other words, like, net worth is assets minus liabilities. So I'll use like, yeah, I'll just use Jeff Bezos for this one. So,
Okay.
like, Jeff Bezos, his net worth is like in $183.3 billion last time I checked.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at his net worth and I looked at, okay, well, yeah, that seems like a lot of money. I'm pretty sure, yeah, people like they'll go insane to know that he's like has so much money to spend. I mean, he has enough money to take care of his kids. So like that's already crazy to me enough. But the more I think about it, and the more that I think what he's known for, which is Amazon, obviously, I think, okay, well, $183.3 billion. So knowing that he owns and operates Amazon, you look at Amazon as a company, they have to pay, they have to worry about employee salaries, employee pay rates, the robots that they have moving around the warehouses that they have to buy, the airplanes that have to be maintenance and have to be bought, like the delivery trucks you see driving around, the delivery vans, the boxes, the like the purchases of their products from the third party. So they still have to buy the products from the companies to still put on the market. And
Mhm.
all that stuff still costs money.
Yep.
Like those are what are called expenses, like AKA liabilities. His assets are his like the planes or the vans, or like
Uh-huh.
even with this idea of trying to like it contributes to solar energy, or something like that. Like I heard he was trying to like he built a fund where he's trying to support um like solar energy sources. Like, yeah, he's putting a lot of money behind that. And yeah, like that's donate money, but the expenses are what operates his company. Like, yeah, he'll still be rich. He'll still be bringing money in, but you have to think about what he's putting money towards. He's putting money towards like assets, which are liabilities. I mean, like like I can only imagine how much one of Amazon's planes costs, or how much it is to operate and own a warehouse, and all those robots that are getting moved around, as well as having to still pay the employees, and also being a person like myself that has experience in logistics and that still currently works in logistics. I don't complain about what the company's doing for me, or like how hard it is to work at the company, because like I've heard, like when I was watching the Jeff Bezos documentary, they were taught like I think it was Frontline, they were talking to people that used to work for Amazon, and they were saying like, oh yeah, Amazon, they offered like 95, like they offer to pay 95% of an employee's tuition if they decide to go to college to learn a certain skill, or they offer other benefits and things like that. But
Hmm.
like the employees that worked on the conveyor belts, they complained like, oh well, you have to work at certain speeds in order to get the product, and like there's a camera on you that's watching to make sure that you're working efficiently. And if they see a flaw in your speed, or in your work ethic, like then you'll get let go.
Absolutely.
And so when I heard that, I was thinking, well, you have to think about this in two ways. So one way being, you have a choice on where you work. If you know a job's not working out for you, then I would consider moving jobs. Now, a second way, and I'm gonna say this as, because like I work at UPS, and UPS, like we're kind of behind on certain things. Like we don't have like the robots that Amazon has, or we're like our, like, so even with even working at UPS during a pandemic, it puts into perspective how important logistics, or the logistics industry, is right now, because there's such an influx of online shoppers, and
Hmm.
like they're like people can't go to the stores, which adds more work on us working the conveyor belts in the warehouses. And
Hmm.
and I can't complain about it, because I know that's the situation that we're in right now as an industry. Like people can't go inside a Walmart or go inside a Target to get what they need. They need to get it from an online source, and have it get delivered to them, whether it's from FedEx, UPS, Amazon. It doesn't matter. Like that product is gonna get to your house, like in one way or another. It's my job as a worker to make sure that that package gets packed.
Absolutely. And I would love to go a bit longer, but my phone is on 5%. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's technically all there is to it. I mean, I'm not saying that the process is simple, but having the mindset and what it actually takes and actually comprehending, what's really important that's behind it, it's simple enough.
Yeah, but well, for the sake of Terrell trying to conserve his phone energy, yeah, we'll cut it short. But really, the overall message, people, like, don't be mad at billionaires because they provide a product that you feel like has value to it. Again, if you want to make a billionaire go broke, boycott the product. Don't boycott the creator
No.
because yeah, there's just it's and I know it's at times it can seem inevitable to boycott a product because you're not gonna you shouldn't expect everybody to do it. Like I get that, but you just have to understand how society works and how the money game works. Like again, everybody has the capability. I mean, we live in such an exposed world where we have Google, where we have Facebook, and a lot of other social media outlets that talk about these things and how to make money and give tips on it. It's just that there's certain people out there that aren't willing to take the time to learn, read, and study about the market. So our message for everybody is don't be mad at the game or like no, like don't be mad at the player, but be mad at the game. But you have to still learn the game to become a player. And another thing too, don't expect billionaires to save the world because a billionaire's job isn't to save the world. A billionaire's job is to sell you a product. And you don't even have to have a lot of money to, even try to save the world. I mean, like, hey, Dr. Martin Luther King, like he didn't have he didn't use $1 billion salary to help like in race or in segregation or change policies in America, or even way back then, like Jesus, he didn't come from wealth and he didn't need $1 billion salary to help change the world. Again,
Mm-mm.
like it's not a billionaire's job to change the world. And you're and for all the people that are out marching in the streets and like the Black Lives Matter movement are doing everything like that, like the last thing that's on those protesters' minds is how much money they have in their pocket. Like because what's valued more than money is a person's knowledge, a person's bravery, a person's tenacity, and a person's
And
heart.
honor.
That's all we're trying to say.
Yep.
But
That concludes our that
yeah,
concludes our podcast. I'm Terrell
anyway,
Bird.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thank you everybody for listening, and yeah, just definitely reflect and reevaluate because yeah, I know things will get better, and I know things may not seem the way that they be, but yeah, everything works in certain ways. But yeah, that's gonna conclude our podcast for today. And yeah, we just want to thank everybody for listening. Also, make sure to check out our storefront as well at Real Dealers Club. Like well, I'll leave a link to the website or the storefront in the description. I'll leave a link to our Instagram page so you can follow us and stay up to date on the products that we're releasing. And
Mhm.
yeah, just we want to say thank you all for listening and make sure to share, make sure to subscribe, make sure to comment, like, do whatever you want to do. And yeah, as always, make sure to keep it real.